In this video, we'll talk about the differences between facts and opinions. By the time we're done, you'll be ready to create a fact sheet by identifying all the facts in an article or essay, separate them from opinions, and list them in a way that makes them easy to identify. A fact is something that cannot reasonably be disputed. Of course, you might take issue with the word reasonably, and I do too. It's tough to nail down. What is or isn't reasonable? We'll talk more about that in a minute, though. An opinion, in contrast, is something that can be reasonably disputed. And there's that word reasonably again. How exactly do we tell the difference? Well, there are a few things we can look at. First, let's look at our example facts. Cats have 4 legs. Russia is larger than the Democratic Republic of Congo. And you are watching a YouTube video. Without being intentionally difficult, we can probably all agree that these are facts. So, how do we know? All of those previous statements are verifiable. We can check them, their physical realities, and see if they are true or not. For example, anyone who has had a healthy cat can count the legs and see that there are 4. Additionally, any number of healthy cats returns the same result. But what about something like the size of Russia compared to the size of the Democratic Republic of Congo? I've never been to either of those places. As far as my personal experience goes, I can't prove whether or not they even exist. But when enough people come to a consensus on something and there's no strong opposition, we can give that datum the title of fact. If we didn't make these kinds of assumptions about facts, we'd never be able to be sure of anything. But that still leaves the problem of evaluating opinions. Here are 3 example opinions. George Washington was a great man. Russia is more important for international commerce than the Democratic Republic of Congo, and this is the best YouTube video ever. One thing to notice about all of those statements is that they contain qualifying words, words that indicate one thing's relationship to another in a hierarchy. More, most, good, better, best, bad, worse, and worst are all qualifying words. Qualifying words invite debate, and nearly always mean something is an opinion unless you are characterizing 2 physical, measurable traits, like 65 miles per hour is faster than 10 miles per hour. Other words that indicate opinions are words that have certain connotations to them, like rudely, unwarranted, or un-American. These words are loaded and often cause a certain emotional response in the reader. It's important to be careful when determining what is fact and what is opinion. Just because you agree with something doesn't make it fact. Just because everyone you know agrees doesn't make it fact either. Humility and caution are key when attempting to determine what is fact and what is an opinion. Now that we've loaded up our scale, let's practice by looking at an article from the New York Times by author Andrew Higgins. Higgins' paragraph may at first seem like it's telling a story using only facts, but if we notice certain emotional, value-based words, decrepit, Soviet era, rust bucket, dismay, and scrapyard, we can see a clear pattern arising. Mr. Higgins is hiding his opinions inside of his facts, turning them into opinion statements as well. The final sentence here is largely fact, but take some time to see if you can identify any words that might be hiding an opinion. When completing a fact sheet, you'll read more about it in the assignment at the end of this module. Make sure to carefully differentiate between facts and opinions.